Hello, everybody. I know we've been MIA for a few weeks because it was my birthday, and then
I was sick.
Yeah.
I was so sick, y'all. Y'all would have seen me. I had red nose. I sounded like a little man. It was all bad. It was all bad.
And then we here this week with an extra guest, an extra co-host, Mr. Aiden Sayer. Say hi. Say hi. Okay, he
over
say
there
hi.
Like twin.
My 20 twin. He's the third copy of me because I made 3.
You say twin now.
Hey, say hey.
Y'all, can y'all believe we on season 2, episode 2?
Already.
Girl, let's talk about it.
So, I mean, this week we have a topic that we're going to get into, but we did want to at least bring it to your attention that we will be changing our format just a little tiny bit. In lieu of motherhood and lifing and all the other things that we would like to do and present to you all, we want to make sure that we don't, we want to stay consistent for you is what I'm trying to say. So our cadence will now go from once a week to bi-weekly. We'll drop on the first and the third Sunday of every month moving forward. And then the months that maybe we have 5 Sundays, we might go the first, the third, and the fifth. Who knows? But that's going to be our cadence moving forward, just so that way we can make sure we keep some consistency with you guys, because I know that's something that we both really want to make sure we're doing this year. We want to give as much as we can give to this podcast because this is something we want to do, right? So I'm going to make sure to hold up on the consistency that we will be sticking to our first and third Sundays. Yeah. So with that being said, this week's topic is, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. And I think every single person has gone through it. Like, you know, we all be wanting to win, right? We all want to succeed. And I think we kind of get lost along the way sometimes, and we forget. Aiden, no. We forget.
Y'all just remember, life be lifing. This is
right.
An example of life be
example. He want to be my producer, and he's trying to play with the keys on the screen because he want to produce the show now. But yeah, so I think we all get caught up in the fact that, you know, we're chasing the win, that we forget to acknowledge the fact that there are lessons in the losses, right? So the loss ain't a loss. It's really just a lesson, and it's a stepping stone to move us forward and catapult us into the next step or the next phase or the next transition, if you will, that we're looking for in life. What you think, Hila?
I most definitely agree, because it's something that I sit back and think about. Like, say if something don't go my way, like this school thing right now, I'm telling y'all, it's like it's teaching me to be time management and things of that sort. So, and when I say that, it's just like basically, you know how you do something, and then at the end of the day, it's like I'm trying to figure out where I was going with this, because I had an end goal.
But y'all know probably was very distracting in that too, because he up here digging and pulling everything out this drawer like it's a Barney bag.
I was looking at myself, and I'm just saying, but it's basically everything that happened, it happened for a reason. Long story short, and you might regret something, you might be in your feelings about something or anything like that. But at the end of the day, you have to sit in it, think about it, and then think about, okay, well, I know for next time, this is how this gonna go. Or I know for next time, I'm not gonna let this happen. Or for next time, you know, so you think about, you know, back in the day when something happened, and I'm like, I should have said that. That girl got on my, I should have said that.
Look, I think we all had the moments in an argument. You might have got into it with one of your friends, or got into it with one of your friends, or, you know, your sibling, whoever, whatever. And then you walk away from it like, dang, this would have been a good comeback.
Or I feel some type of way that I got like into it with one of my siblings or one of my best friends, something like that, and they'd be like, next time I'm gonna handle myself better.
Or next time I'm gonna just bite my tongue because maybe that didn't need to be said.
That part, girl, I'm not like I'm still working on that to this day because
Guilty, big guilty over here. Like, ooh, that could have went unsaid. I ain't had to say that last little part. Boy, he pulling tools up out of here.
Have you ever did something like you say something, then soon after you say it, you be like, oh, I should never say
Shouldn't
that.
have said that. Shouldn't have said that.
I shouldn't said that.
You know, honestly, I feel like I had that happen to me more in situations where it was like I gave somebody too much information than I should have. It may have not been like I said something hurtful. It may like I've had situations where I'm like, that ain't the person to tell that to.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That ain't the person I should have said that to.
Look, I'm just in the emotion of the conversation. I'm like, yeah, girl. And then next thing I know, I'll be like, that was not the person.
Not to this one, not to her, not to him. They can't know that detail.
But then, and then you try to clean it up a little bit.
Right. Look, now you know for next time, the lesson is
like I be trying to clean it up, and I'll be like, well, no, it didn't happen like that exactly. It actually happened like that, or it just be yes. Oh my gosh. I was sitting here thinking like that happens so many times. It gets to the point that now that I get on the phone with people, those type of people, I just sit back and listen because I'm like, I don't want to say anything that I know for a fact that is gonna go around to other people. Mm-hmm. It don't be serious stuff, but it could be good stuff. It could be personal stuff, and it could be like I'm starting a business, and I'm doing such and such and such. And then you be like,
now all of a sudden, so and so.
Be like, what about that business?
I heard you was about to start, and it's like, well, dang, how you hear that? I ain't announced that yet.
And you could tell somebody like, after you say, you be like, but don't tell nobody yet. This is between me and you. And then you hear it around like, I ain't tell nobody else but this one person. And I told that was the wrong person to tell.
I think for me, for the losses and lessons, I feel like I've seen more of it when it comes to whatever it is I'm aspiring to do, the things that I'm seeking to be successful in, whether it's like my business, my art,
because your art been bomb. I'm not gonna lie. The girl, them pieces been on point.
Well, thank you. Listen, there was a lot of situations where I thought I had losses there too, right? Like y'all don't understand. These art supplies ain't cheap. And when I tell y'all, I got a pile of canvases over here right now that's like partially worked on because I felt like it's a loss. Really, it's a lesson. Whole time, some of these pieces over here that I don't like, people love. There are people out there who love. Like before we left Chicago, like we gave away a lot of art because even though we didn't like it, there were people out there who loved. Hold on. Y'all, this boy a busybody. He just learned how to walk and now he gets into everything. So that's why he up here with me today, because I gotta keep a close eye on him these days. But
big boy that is.
Let me tell you, look, even my kids, I feel like that's another area that, you know, it wasn't a loss, it was a lesson. You know, conceiving.
Girl.
I became a mother at 18. I was pregnant at 17. I could have looked at that as a loss. I could have looked at that as like, dang, I didn't messed up. You know, I didn't throw everything, my future away, because now here I'm a teenage mom at 17. I'm pregnant at 18. I'm a mom, and you know, I still had a year left of high school. I wanted to, you know, run track in college. Like I wanted to do all these things, and then here I am. I'm pregnant. You know. Right. And I could have looked at that as a loss for me, but instead I was like, you know what? I could have taken the lesson that my mother said, right? But instead, I'm one of them people, I need to go out there and make my own mistakes, and I did. Not to say that my daughter is a mistake, but she definitely was a lesson. Definitely was a lesson. What she taught me was, you know, how to persevere, like how to push forward, how to go against every adversity that there is. I did not want to be a statistic, right? I didn't want to be a teenage mom living at home with my mom and my 7 siblings. Because if y'all know me, I'm the oldest of 8. There was 8 kids in my household. There were 10 people in my house. And I didn't want to be that girl, you know? So I knew, like, okay, against everything else, I'm graduating high school. So I went to school during the daytime with my peers, and then in the evening, at what is it called? AOEC. Like, but I made sure I was done with school by January because I was having my baby in March. When I showed up at graduation to walk the stage, everybody, oh, where you been? Where have you been? And then I'm like, oh, I finished early. I will finish in January. And then they see this baby because some of them didn't even know I was pregnant. Didn't even know I was pregnant. And, I come to graduation with a 3-month-old baby. And they're like, whose baby is this? And I'm like, she mine. That's my baby. That's where I went. But I walked the stage with y'all, so ta-da, but she was a lesson for me. I honestly feel like I wouldn't be who I am today without going through that lesson, because I felt like I had so much to prove. I had to prove that that wasn't the end for me. I had to prove that, I had this baby at 18, but I still got stuff I can do. This ain't where the line stopped for me. And that was a big one. That was a big, loss to lesson, because I could have looked at it that way. I could have looked at it as like I was defeated at that point, but that was not an option. Losing ain't an option for me, period. Like,
period.
Period. I gotta make sure like something has to come of the situation, no matter how hard some losses may be, like, you just gotta find something in there, a win in there. There's a win in there somewhere.
Somewhere. Always is gonna be a win somewhere, regardless. Because what you said, like, by having kids early, I'm not gonna lie, like, no, I'm not gonna say that.
Like what?
Because it's not about having kids. To me, it was about, when they say having kids by someone.
Now those, I might take them as some L's. No, I'm just playing. They were some lessons.
It was most definitely a lesson. Y'all. And let me tell you, I love my babies to death. I wouldn't change my babies for the world. I love them just as they is. But if I can go back in time, I would still have my babies. You know where that's going. Y'all know where I'm going. That's why I said, like, I didn't want to say it, because it's like,
no shade to the baby daddies, but
no, it's no shade. It's no shade, because at the end of the day, my babies are blessings, and I don't know where I will be without my babies.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like I like, at this point with having them, I'm okay with my life is at. I love where my life is at. So it's just like, if I did not have them, where would I be now?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, would it be different? And sometimes some people that don't have babies, they life ain't,
they may have needed that lesson.
They probably needed exactly. Like,
I feel like I would have been more. I feel like my kids kept me
grounded.
There you go. Because, girl, I would have been gone in the wind.
Do you hear me?
Would have been gone in the wind. Because even after I had my first daughter, I was still a little bit gone in the wind, because I was young and I was like, I still want to experience life. I don't feel like everything needs to stop. And, but that was another situation where I had to learn. So with that, like, I had my first apartment. I moved out. I was 19. I thought I was doing my thing. I thought I was grown, y'all. I had my own house, my own car, had a job, me and my baby living on our own. I'm 19 years old. I ain't got to ask my mama for nothing except to babysit. but I thought I was big grown, y'all. And in the midst of me being big grown at my so big age of 19, I mistook friendship. I thought it was something that it wasn't. And I mistook people wanting to be around me as like, oh, people genuinely mess with me, y'all. They clicking in, they locking in, they like me, they like being over here, they like kicking it. I was a 19-year-old with a kicking spot. Everybody else pretty much either lived with parents or they didn't have their own. And I think that was a lesson that I had to learn real quick. That because me, I'm the type of person that if I eat, you eat. If I got this, you got this. If I'm on, you on. And I did that so much that I was left with nothing by 22. Just left at 19. By 22, I didn't ran everything dry because I let everybody around me have what I had until I didn't have it no more.
Right.
So that was another thing that could have been a loss, but I treated it as a lesson. I honestly, y'all, really what it was everybody would kick it at my house, and then I got to the point where people wouldn't leave. And I was young and naive, and I didn't know how to tell people, get the hell out of my house. Like, get out. I don't want no roommates. And I couldn't bring myself to be like, y'all get the hell out. So literally, right. I told the land, like I pretty much went to the leasing office and said, I'm giving 30 days. I'm moving out. And I moved out of my apartment and moved back home with my mom just to get everybody out of my house. Because I was like, okay, I just found out I'm pregnant. And at this time, I'm pregnant with my second daughter at 22. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? Like, I felt like I had grown. And I was putting myself in the same situation that I was in before. And you would think that, you know, at having gone through or went through at 18 or 19 or at 17 and 18, that I would have treated that lesson fully. But when you're young, the lessons really don't stick. They don't. When you're young, you go through these situations and it's a momentary awakening, but then the life is a little more enticing. Kicking it is a little bit more enticing. You be like, I might just dabble over here for a little bit. And then you forget the lesson, you know? Right. And I really wish that, like, if you have younger siblings, because I do, and like my youngest siblings, they're twins and they're 14 years younger than me. And when I tell y'all, I be in their ear all the time. And I know they're so sick of me because they literally be telling me I act like I'm their mama. But if I had somebody in my ear, like a big sister, that had gone through this stuff, because it was different coming from my mom. Because me and my mom are the same age difference as me and my youngest siblings. My mom's only 15 years older than me. But she still didn't have the conversation as deep as I needed the conversation. Everything was surface level because at the end of the day, she was my mom and she was also a kid raising a kid, you know? Right. And I felt like she would like kind of sugarcoat topics because she wants to keep it clean. She's my mother. And I needed somebody to go gritty. My grandma, on the other hand, that woman will go gritty. And I would be like, oh, I do not feel comfortable with you talking about coochie, grandma. Don't say that.
But at the end of the day, at least you have a conversation. Like, I'm not gonna lie. What I learned from not having conversations about certain things when I was younger until like now I'm grown with y'all, with majority of girls, it's like, I'm always in the air about something. I'm always asking questions about something. I'm always like, okay, this is gonna happen. Watch, this gonna happen. It's gonna happen because of this reason and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you might feel some way about it now. But girl, just wait. Because like I remember I told y'all on one episode with Caleb, with some little girl told one little girl not to be her friend, whatever like that. Now Caleb got way more friends with the other little girl. And then the same little girl that told her not to be Caleb's friend moved to a different school, so now that girl stuck by herself.
Right. So at the same time, these kids, these lessons, some of them will stick and some of them won't. It's like when we grown, it's the lessons that we get when we grown. Because I feel like the lessons, mind y'all, the lessons really be the things that come from these things that we see as losses. And when we lose them, they be heavy. When we grown, it ain't like losing your friend in 6th grade.
Exactly.
You know? It's not like your 6th grade friend telling your other friend not to be your friend. It's things like, oh, this job didn't pan out how I wanted it to. You know, and then or I don't know. It
be real life stuff. It be real life stuff. I feel like we was paying Monopoly this weekend, right? Kaylin only had like $17 left, right? So I treated her like it was the real world. Like, you ain't gotta pay me, you gotta pay the bank. I can't give you. It's the bank that's asking for this money. This is real life stuff. So, and I don't know. I treat like playing games and stuff like that like real life. So y'all, when y'all get older, y'all be like, y'all remember when we was playing Monopoly that game and you had to pay the bank that $100 and you didn't have it.
Right.
You better find out a way.
Girl, like literally, so yesterday, I want to say yesterday, I literally sat in my car with my kids for about 40 minutes, just having a conversation with them about losses that I endured. And you know, hindsight is always 2020. You see things clear as day when you're on the other side of it. And I just had the conversation with my kids about the things that sitting on this side of the situation I saw coming and I ignored. And I think that's a big thing that we do in certain situations because we like the moment that we're in, that we ignore the red flags of this loss that's coming. It's down the road and we see the red flag saying it's a loss coming up ahead. It's a loss 2 miles ahead. You about to deal with a loss. And we just blinders because I'm enjoying this moment that I'm in. And then when we get there, we're like, dang.
I can relate so much.
I seen it coming.
I see it coming.
It's like it coming.
When I say I can relate so much, I can relate so much. You can have so many red flags right in your face, and then when it happened, you be like, I should have protected myself at the beginning when I seen them. At the beginning, even though they was a small red flags, they was like miles back.
You thought you had time to address it. I'll get to that. I see it coming, but I'm gonna get to it. I'm enjoying this though. I'm enjoying this little moment. I'm enjoying this little fun. But I deal with that when I deal with it. And like so the conversation I was having with my kids was stop procrastinating. Don't procrastinate. If you see something that needs attention now, give it attention right now. That way you don't have to deal with a lesson from a loss. You can deal with the win from your preparation and your preparedness. Like, what do they always say for winners? It's like some P's, preparation, practice, and like that is like so for real. Like, do not procrastinate. Always be prepared, you know, and just handle your shit head on. Like for real. I think a lot of times we be shying away from the mundane. We be shying away from having to deal with the ugly parts of things we don't want to deal with right now. And then when we do get faced with that loss or we do get faced with that lesson, we be feeling so like dumb. We feel dumb, like we wasted time and energy because it takes more energy to clean up the mess than it would have taken to prevent the mess or to prevent the loss.
That part. I'm not saying I'm sorry to cut you off, but that part, like y'all need to sit back and think about what you just said, because that part itself, when I say if I know it hit home for me, I know it hit home for everybody else. Because like you said, if I was just took the time to do what I had to do when I seen the flags or at the beginning of it, then I won't be feeling the way I'm feeling now after it happened. Or like what's happening.
Like, so I use the example of chores with my kids, right? Because I'd be like, okay, think about it like this, right? You come home from school and I tell you, like, I ain't even gotta tell you, you know what you need to do, right? You know, let me get in here, let me take care of my chores. And then, you know, you can go chill, you know, be on your phone, lay on the bed, go take a nap, whatever it is you want to do. But then let's say you came home and you didn't do none of that. And then you hear that garage open, you hear me pulling up. Now you frantic, you panicking. Let me hurry up and it's like when your mama told you to take that meat out and you didn't take it out. Now you're at the sink trying to hurry up and
that hot water, like
yes, you know, you trying because you ain't do what you needed to do when you needed to do it. So I tell them the reward, like when you lay in your bed after you done did your chores, after you done did your homework, after you done took care of your business, when you sit up in that bed and you playing on your phone, it's the best feeling because you feel at ease. Ain't nothing over your shoulder. Ain't nothing weighing on your chest because you already know I done did what I needed to do. I can actually sit and enjoy this, you know, and that goes so far in life. And that's why I be telling them the little habits that you create right now will become the bigger habits you have as an adult. So I still be getting on their tail about chores, but they teenagers and preteens, so that's gonna happen. But I really just be trying to make sure I have the conversations so that even if they don't stick with them today, or they in the back of their mind, right? This stuff, these things I'm saying to them, it's in their mind, right? But when they become adults, they're gonna start to attach these conversations with adult situations. And be like, that's what she meant. That's what she meant.
And then they're gonna call you, be like, Mom, you remember that conversation when you was like,
yep.
Yeah.
And mind you, my 15-year-old does it now. She's like, Mom, remember when you told me? And I'm like, yep. She's like, girl, what? Girl, I know. I know. That's why I told you. You was getting ready to go into high school. It's about to get real. Think about it. It's going to get even more real. She only got 2 years left of high school.
Oh, my God. That's mind-blowing. How time flies.
Yeah. Girl only got 2 years left. By that time, I'm going to have Chloe going to be rolling into high school. Like, and Chloe be sitting in there for the conversations. And she's so, like, little dainty, like, oh, what's going on? And I still be talking. I had to ask her the other day. I said, Chloe, if somebody roll up on you and said they don't like you and they want to fight, what you gonna do? She was like, what? I said, what you gonna do? I was like, is you gonna fight them? No. Why you ain't gonna fight? But she said, because I know I don't put myself in those type of situations. I say, girl, period, you shut me down. But yes, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's forward thinking. You know, they're preparing themselves, putting themselves in or I should say not putting themselves in situations that require that type of energy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I just like the conversation we have on this podcast where I be talking to y'all about, you know, protecting your peace, protect your energy, you know, pay attention to what you pour your energy into, pay attention to who gets a reaction out of you, pay attention to those type of things, because that's the type of energy that you will attract, right? I say the same stuff to my kids. They understand exactly what I'm talking about when I say, where you pouring your energy right now? Because that's going to determine what you get back.
You know, I'm going to start using that, because I be giving them the long definition. I'm just going to say, where are you pouring your energy into right now? That is short and simple, but it's powerful. I'm going to start using it. Girl, because Kayla comes to me. Girl, Kayla came to me the other day. She might be mad come talk about this on this podcast.
I'm telling.
She comes to me the other day and she was like, my friend's dating. Mind y'all, she in 6th grade. My friend's dating. I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, you want to date? She said, yeah. I said, yeah. I said, who? I don't know. So, see, they don't work like that. It don't work like that.
Because then you just going to go out there picking whatever. You can date. I can date. Let's date.
Right. So I was like, no, we're not doing that. Because if you doing that, that means you're going to settle.
And not only that, that means you're distracted. Because you're paying attention to the wrong things. You should be at school paying attention to what you need to be paying attention to. Chloe came to me and told me she had a crush. But Chloe knows we don't date right now.
Yeah.
But she said, I have a crush, Mom. I said, okay, let him stay a crush.
Right. Kayla was like, my friends were like, oh, Kayla, you look cute with him. You look cute with him. And she was like, Mama, I can't date. So keep that same energy, because you can't date. But I was curious. I'm like, why you want to date, basically? And who you like? And she's talking about she don't like nobody. She not, or anything like that. So I'm like, why you want to date? You only want to date because your friend's dating, and we're not doing that.
Ask her one more question next time she bring it up. Ask her what she think dating is.
Girl, I asked that. Girl, it's nothing. Dating is nothing. When I say dating is nothing, she told me, oh, like, I asked her, I said, what you mean dating? And she was just like talking on the phone and going to places. Like, that's all.
Where they going in 6th grade? Where they going?
She like she was like to the movies, to the mall, like little innocent stuff. But no, we're not even doing innocent stuff. No. She know better to tell her friends I can't date.
So I do phone checks.
Oh girl, do
I? So I be scared. I ain't gonna lie. Like, this went from lessons and learning to what we be doing to our kids. But still, I think those is the bigger lessons here, right? Those are the bigger ones. But I be doing phone checks, and sometimes I be scared about what I'm gonna find, because I don't want to be disappointed. Because I'm like, I know I didn't talk these girls better than that. I be going through hidden folders, I'm like, y'all don't. I got access to everything. Ain't nothing hidden. I can get into this. I can get into that. I know all the apps that look like an app that ain't an app. I'm into it all. So I'm literally going through it, and some of the situations I'll be sitting here like, this is what this person chooses to talk about. But then even more so, I see my child's response, and at the end of the day, I'll be so proud of my kids. Because like when I tell you, my kids be like, and is like if it be something like, oh, I don't want to put my kids' business out there. But when folks be pressing them about certain things and they be standing on their ground, because they have morals and standards and they be proud about that, that is the part that be making me so proud, because that means that they're taking what I'm saying to them. They're allowing my losses to be their lessons.
Right.
And I think that's one thing that every parent strives for, is that our children learn from our from our losses. Because here, once again, I am one of those people who I didn't learn from my parents' loss, right? I went out there and made my own losses. And granted, I understand that that's a part of life. These kids are gonna want to go out there and make their own mistakes. I just want to make sure that they got the proper tools to bounce back from the mistakes that they make, and that they don't make the same mistake over and over again. Because let's be honest, there's some people out there right now our age who study making the same mistake over and over and over, and they're not learning from their losses. They just taking L after L after L. And I don't want that for my kids. Hell, I didn't even want it for y'all. I didn't want it for my friends. I didn't want it for my community, my people. But that's another reason why I had to get up out of there, because I just kept seeing the same stuff happening over and over again. And don't get me wrong, the same stuff happened no matter where you go. But I really felt like home was so heavy, and it was so much stuff going on, and it's too small of a place. Yeah. And I felt like I was outgrowing this really small place. Not to say I'm like bigger or better than anything or anybody, because I come from the mud just like the rest of y'all do. It's just, I can't even say the mud because we wasn't in no mud, but still, like I come from Lake County just like, everybody else. But it's just like, at some point, like Lake County has so much talent. Lake County has so many people with such brilliant and bright ideas and beautiful talents, and I feel like we cap ourselves. We want to be as big as Lake County. We want to be the best in Lake County, and I did not want that for me, and I don't want that for my kids. I didn't want to be the best of Lake County nothing. I wanted to get out of there, and I wanted to be bigger than that. And I'm still striving for that, for me and for mine, because I feel like when we put ourselves in a bigger if we put ourselves in, you know what? I don't know. I just keep seeing this fish. I keep seeing this fish in a bowl, and it's only going to grow as big as the bowl allows. But if you put that same fish in an aquarium or in the ocean, it's going to get super big. And that's what I want. I don't want to limit myself, and I don't want to limit my kids. And I want to challenge us, to push boundaries that we wouldn't have pushed back there.
Exactly. Looking at bigger pictures and bigger ideas and just bigger everything. Like I be telling my kids sometimes when they have an idea, I'm like, think a little bit bigger. Just a little bit more. Like I know you have it. I know it's in there. I know. Like I'm not feeling like Kaylin Marie, girl. She think outside the box, and I'd be so proud of her. Like when I say she thinks outside the box, the box she thinks. I don't, but like the other, like with Kayla, when she like, I'm like, Kayla, don't you want to do a sport? Don't you want to do something? Like we need to think bigger picture. Like Kaylin, she doing art. I'm like, Kaylin, I know you love art. I see it. But how about you do digital art? I'm like, you can make like it be. Look, speaking of the other little girl, I'm gonna say speaking of the devil, but my baby ain't no devil. Girl, like when it comes to stuff like they do now, I'm like, if y'all start this stuff now, by the time y'all get grown and y'all get like in your early 20s, then y'all gonna be successful of it and then make money of it. Like Trayvon know how to cook. When I say that little boy throws down, he throws down.
I mean, look who his daddy is. They be in the kitchen together.
So I be telling him like, boy, you better throw a camera up while you cooking.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all you have to do is just record while you cooking. When I say by time you get in your early 20s, you're gonna have clientele, people flying you out just to cook for them and everything like that. If you start now,
Yeah.
look at the bigger picture, because you could do way better than what you're doing. So it's like, girl, when I say that, he know how to throw down. He know how to throw down. So I'm like, you have the potential. This is what you want to do. Like right now, the day's age that we are now, everything's on social media. Everything is on the internet. Throw a camera up. You're doing the same thing. You ain't even got to talk in the camera. Throw a camera up while you're doing your thing.
Yeah. Honestly, like I feel like the kids today have so much opportunity that there's no way that they shouldn't or couldn't, right? So like one thing I make sure I do is I celebrate the wins with my kids, right? Janelle, she been posting on TikTok, you know, for a while. She had a TikTok before I had a TikTok. And she felt the way that my video had went viral before. She's like, Mommy, how you go viral before me? And you don't even use TikTok. I had 2 videos up at that time. One that had been up for like, I don't know, 4-5 months. And then that viral video went up. And all of a sudden I went from 12 followers to over 1,000. And then I had like 200, 300K something interactions, right? And she's like, I've been struggling just to get to, you know, 1,000 or this or whatever. And you didn't got 1 million views on one video and you don't even use TikTok. And then, so recently I did, so I know y'all know everybody been doing little money bouquets or whatever, but nobody was doing them here in the town that I live in. So I've been doing money bouquets here in the town that I live. So I had made her like a mock one. So it had like fake flowers and fake money or whatever, so she could take it to school, because a lot of the kids been asking. Most of my orders come from the high school kids, right? But they were asking like, how big is it? Like they seen pictures, but like how big is it? So I made her a small one, which is 25 bills and like a half dozen roses, and I put some other stuff in there, whatever. So she took it to school with her, and she made like a quick little video about the bouquet, right? But she was holding the money bouquet, and she had made like a little funny comment with it or whatever, and it started going viral. And she was like, Mom. She got so excited over this video.
I sure seen it. That's why I'm smiling so hard, because I sure seen it.
Yeah,
so
she was like
they asked me where I get it from, but it's just me supporting my mama business or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I see you.
Yeah, so she was like, you know, she was super excited about it. And I'm like, okay, now ride the wave. Like, what else you finna post now? But like, now you got the interactions, and like your followers gonna go up, and then you could do, you know, whatever else you want to do, because Janelle really wants to vlog. And when I tell y'all, if I go through my phone right now, there's probably 200 videos of her literally just taking my phone and be like, okay, guys. So like we did homecoming dress shopping her freshman year, her sophomore year. And she was like, I'm going to piece them all together and I'm going to put them on YouTube. And she never did it. And I'd be like, why don't you just do it? She's like, well, I need a camera. I need this. Girl, no, you don't. You don't do it. Just do it. But yeah.
You know what? It's crazy, because I even bought a camera and I don't use my camera.
Because the phones do it.
Right. But they have these real small cameras like this big. And they like $200-$300. And I'm getting one. And that'd be perfect for her. I mean, birthdays or whatever, you could just pop that camera in as a birthday gift, and it does what I mean, like the quality, everything is great. It's like $200-$300, and it's real small. And that was my thing when I'm like, I feel crazy in public trying to carry this big old camera around.
Yeah.
But it's real small, and it does everything that the big camera does. And it's $300 cheaper.
Oh, well then, yeah. I mean, maybe that's what she'll need, you know, but I definitely make sure I celebrate the wins with them, because for real, I don't know. I know like there was this one clip at one point in time. It was like Master P talking about losses from lessons. And he was like, ain't no lessons in the win. The lessons are in the losses. And like, I started to like dissect that, right? Like, it ain't no lesson in the win. Like, you don't learn nothing from a win. Like, I don't know. I've been teetering with that, like back and forth in my head. Like, no, you can learn from a win. And then I'm like, but can you? Like, really, what do you learn from winning?
Right.
What do you learn from winning? Like,
it feels good. You don't really learn anything. You feel you did it, but you didn't learn. You didn't get to that point because it just happened. You had a loss in somewhere, in that before you made it to your goal. So at the end of the day, you learn from the mistake you did at the beginning, and then you got there. And that's most definitely 100% correct, because I think that way too. Like, if I didn't do it this way, I'm like, okay, let me try this. If it didn't work this way, let me try this.
Yeah. Because honestly, I've been battling with that in my head. Like, I'm been sitting there really like, you can't learn from a win. Like, you can't learn from a win. I just kept like, you can't learn. How can you not learn from a win? But then I started really being like, what do you learn? What do you learn? What do you learn from winning? Like, if anything, I feel like sometimes people get so used to winning that they forget the work that needs to go in. And they, like, when they do run into a wall, they forget how to readjust. Like, they'll be, on the win, or, like on the streak, right? Let's say you on the streak, it's coming effortlessly, right? And then when you finally do hit that wall, you panic. You be like, dang, it's been coming so easy this whole time. What happened? What went wrong?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Yeah, I feel like the lessons always come from the losses, and the wins come from the lessons. You got to go through a loss to get to a win.
Exactly. But then I also think, like you were saying, celebrating the wins. I have one friend, they said they don't celebrate the wins. They just keep pushing.
But see, here's the thing with that. Here's the problem with that, right? Because I think a lot of us, I think everybody here is guilty of aspiring for more, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say we said, okay, for example, us, right? We said we're going to start this podcast. We want to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, by our 1 year mark, right? Let's say we reach that goal, that 1,000 subscribers. No, matter of fact, we strive into the 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, right? Mm-hmm. We hit 500 and we don't celebrate that. We hit 805, the 850. We don't celebrate that because it ain't 1,000. And then people forget to live in the moment and appreciate where they are today. Exactly. Like, for me, being here in Texas, like, I'm like, okay, I'm here, but this is the kind of house I want. This, like, I got bigger aspirations. Like, getting here was a step towards a goal that I have. And I had to tell myself, like, in the middle of last year, like, girl, if you don't stop and be grateful for where you at, because you prayed to be here. Mm-hmm. You prayed for this moment. You prayed to have this home that you have, like, this beautiful house. Your kids are in good health. They're doing good in school. They're in a great school district. They are thriving. Your job, you're moving up. Things are getting better. Like, it's just like, girl, you're praying for all of this, but you talking about, I ain't where I want to be yet.
Girl, that's crazy, because just this, I'm not gonna lie, I had to sit in this, I think it was Friday. It was Friday. I had went downstairs for lunch, and I had sat there. Y'all know me, so we bought a home or whatever. But I always wanted a new home. Like, but the home we have is big. It was like what we got our money for is bigger than what we would have got for a new home. So I was just sitting in my office, and I was just like, feeling myself like, oh my gosh, we did this. And I've been back at Trail like, in a couple years, can we move? In a couple years, I want a new home. And then I sat there, we were just watching TV, and I turned around, I was like, we ain't gotta move in 3 years. Let's fix it up to how we want it, and I'll be comfortable here. Like, yep. I had to actually sit there, like, I love the home. It's some things that I would like to update, and I will be comfortable here, and then I don't have to worry about moving my kids again. I was thinking, like, back in Illinois, every time our lease was up, we moved. Every time our lease was up, we moved. Except for, like, the last house we was in Illinois. We did, two leases, and then we moved to Texas. But I was like, I'm tired of my kids feeling like every time they get comfortable somewhere, we moving somewhere else. Now they're going to a different school, stuff like that. So it's like, I looked at you, I was like, let's just fix it up. Let's just fix it how we want it, and then I will be comfortable with it. So it's like, you're doing too much. Slow down, because a lot of people not even near where you at. So appreciate what you have now in the moment. And, and after that, everything's going to fall in place. Like you said, just feel good in the moment. Think about, like, okay, you wanted it, you got it, and now you ask for more. No, sis.
Right.
Be happy.
That's why I'm saying,
where
like,
you
look, I
at.
wore my God got me hat today because I really feel like God got me. God
And he
got me.
does. And he
Like,
does.
he really do. Like, I literally just sitting here thinking about, like, all the things that I thought was losses. For example, I wanted to come to Texas. Like, let me see. I had a job interview to come to Texas in October of 21. And I didn't get that job. And I was a little bit bummed about it or whatever. And I felt like, well, dang, like I got all the things necessary to make this happen, and I didn't get that job, and I really was bummed about it. But then I had made such an impression with that hiring manager that they called me when another location became available, and the location that I got is much better prime location than the one I was trying to go for. I was looking like the location that I was originally applying for was on the Fort Worth side of DFW. And I mean, Fort Worth is nice and all, but Dallas is a lot better than Fort Worth, in my opinion, as far as where I want to be. And that area where that store was, the neighborhoods that I would have to find a home in, either I would have to take a pretty decent commute to work, or my kids would have to go to like a okay school district. Whereas, you know, I sat back and I waited. Another opportunity came to me, and it was a better store in a prime location. I get executive presence visits. I am pretty much like the face of my district. I was able to get housing in a part of Dallas that is a very nice and newly built part of Dallas. So we're growing with the town that we chose to live in, and my kids are in a great school district. So that goes to show that what I thought was a loss was not a loss. It literally was just lining me up for the real win.
Did you hear this thing where people be like, God closed that door for a reason? He closed it for a reason because he have another door that's waiting for you.
Yeah.
You upset about the door that he closed, but not thinking into it that he have a better door opening for you later down the line. Yeah. He's building you up to be where he wants you to be at. And I'm not, every time I hear that hit homes to me, because it'd be like, I want to be here now. Right. I want to do this now.
Right. And who are we to tell God now?
Right. I want to, like, this business thing, I want to, where I had to be realistic. Like the business we were talking about doing or whatever, I had to be realistic with it. I was like, where I want us to be by the end of the year, it's going to take at least a year or two for me to, like, really think about it. It's going to take a year or two to be there. So it's like, Keila, slow down. Mm-hmm. Slow down, because he moved the way he moved for a reason. Yeah. And I be have to remind myself that all the time, because I be trying to
girl, don't we know? We be like, you know what? Ain't no better time than right now. Let's go. And then we be ready to strap on them boots and go. And then be like, hold on. Now we moving faster than the speed of light. Now everything got to catch up with us, because now we making moves bigger than, you know, we taking steps bigger than the shoes that we in.
Right.
You know, take some baby steps, homie. Take a couple baby steps and you'll get there. I'd rather take a few baby steps to get where I'm going than to try to take leaps and bounds and fall on my face.
Exactly. I'm not fine. Like when we was talking about the business thing and the time frame you gave me the first time, I was like, I don't know. Then I sat there and I thought about it. I'm like,
but you was like, October.
I was like, yes, I never planned that, like a business to be that far out. Like I never did that. And I'm like, maybe that was the reason why they kept on failing, because I was rushing them and not taking my time with them. So it was just like, you know, we came up with a different date, but I'm like, I typically will move faster than that. So it's just like, I'm not feeling like when I have an idea, I jump on it fast or I won't do it. And that be my thing. But then I'm like, maybe that's the reason why they never made it to where I wanted to make it, because I'm giving up too fast. I'm moving too fast and I'm giving up too fast.
Yeah. I can attest to that. I feel like I've done the same thing where I jumped in and I thought I had things, you know, lined up. Okay, this gonna work like this and this gonna work like this. And if this don't work, then this gonna fall into place. And then when you go through all you moving so fast and then you rush through. It's a rush job. If we're being honest, it is a rush job that's low key. Like no matter how much thought and preparation we thought we put into it, we really just slapped it together. You know what I mean? And it falls apart just as easy as it was slapped together. And that's why like things don't be working how we be wanting them to work. That's why I was like, let's take our time with this one. Let's really like be meticulous about every little thing, because I feel like the amount of time that we put into the preparation, it's going to save us that amount of time on the back end when it comes to the headache and the other parts.
I most definitely agree, because now that we took this time, it's like I'm thinking of different things, you know, that I wouldn't have thought before. And it's crazy because like y'all know, like I did my perfume line. I still have everything for my perfume line. And this one girl bought it. And she was like, girl, do you still have your lineup? My friend, every time I wear this perfume, she's begging me for a bottle. She loved the smell. And I'm like, really? Like, I'm like, did I share my perfume line down too soon? Like, you know, and I had to really think about it, like, Keela, with the candle things, if I would have still been doing my candle thing right now, I would have been somewhere.
I was sure wondering why you stopped the candle thing. Like, that's why I even have you doing for the wedding. Y'all, I've been married for 2 years and she ain't made a candle in 2 years. And even before the wedding, she wasn't making candles no more. But them candles,
they were selling. And they were selling. I'm not ever like, in my head, I be wanting to go back, but then to be like, haven't been too long. And I'm like, no, Keela, you be doing too much. Let's focus on the first thing first, and then we'll think about revisiting it. But it just be so much stuff. It's be like, okay, I know my candles would have hit, but it was not moving fast enough for me. And then it was like, Keela, you doing all the work. But I'm like, that was okay, because everybody was loving it. And then like with the perfume thing, I made every perfume I have, I made from scratch. I did it myself. And I was like, I don't think people gonna like it or whatever like that. And I was second guessing myself. I sold a couple of bottles or whatever. And they both, the ones that I did sell, everybody was like, they loved it. And it was just like, okay. And then everything was slowing down. And then next thing I know, like 2 months later, somebody tell me like, everybody loved my perfume. When I walk past, they ask me what I have on. And that made me feel good. And I'm like, dang, Keela.
Like, why? Dang. I gave up too easy. I gave up too quick. Like, I feel the same way, like, even with New Wave. Like, the website's still up. Like, my sister wore her hoodie all the time because I had redid the tie-dye hoodie to have, like, embroidery on the sleeve right here. Like, I like a little piece here that say New Wave.
I want my
quality there. And that's what I'm saying. Anybody who ordered from it when I started, because at first, here's the thing. When I first launched it, it was in 2020 at the height of the pandemic. And the only way I could fulfill orders was drop shipping at that time. And there was no way to quality check drop shipping because it goes directly from the manufacturer to the customer and don't come to me in between. And there were times where the manufacturer that I initially selected that I had did a test run with was shut down because of COVID. So then they would move my order to like a sub manufacturer, and then that sub person was shut down, and then it went to the third stream and the fourth stream. Before you know it, somebody in Indonesia making my stuff, and it was originally US based, so now it's affecting my ship dates and it's affecting the quality, and it had gotten to the point where I was like, shut it down, just shut it down. And then when I did revisit it, you know, I would put out new designs and new stuff like that, and the people who mess with it, but I feel like I will only get the same few people to order. And then I had kind of just, I don't know, I felt like it wasn't moving as fast as I wanted it to move, right? And I had got to the point where I was like, you know what? I want to get, and I had changed from DTG to embroidery. So everything New Wave moved to embroidery. So it was heavy quality materials. It was nicely embroidered pattern. It was good, and it was good quality. And then anybody who got it from that point was like, girl, when you dropping a new color, or because like that round hem shirt sold out really quickly. And I was like, I was not expecting that. I wasn't expecting it to sell out so quick. And then the other one that just the standard iconic tee, the one that just has the embroidery, it's a flat hem, but the embroidered New Wave here. That
Right.
one goes quick too. And I think that one was one of the ones that people really like the material of the t-shirt. Because it's like a soft material of a t-shirt. That's one you have.
Girl, I love that shirt. I'm not gonna like every time I say this all the time. Every time I wash my clothes, that'd be the first shirt I put on. Cause it is comfortable, it's light. I don't know. For some reason, that shirt there, I'm like, I love that shirt. I'm not even fun stunt.
Well, thank you. Thank you. But yeah, so like, I don't know. It wasn't moving as fast as I wanted it to move. Then I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to just buy a whole bunch bulk and I'm going to just have it on hand. And I'm going to start doing like sneaker cons and pop-ups and all this and all that. And that was one of the moments where my husband was telling me like, slow down, right? Because when we going to have time to do those sneaker cons? When we going to have time to do them pop-ups? When you're going to buy all of this product and going to be sitting on it? And when we going to have time to get out there and sell it? So I was like, okay, you're right. And then I just completely just fizzled out. And I'm like, whatever sells. So now the website is still up. I'll get a few sales here and there, basically enough sales to pay for the website being up.
Yeah.
Because I haven't put nothing new up. So people who go revisit the site, they like already got this.
Yeah. I most definitely understand that because I got purses. Yeah, if y'all don't look, I got purses that's still sitting here because I don't promote them no more. Or I don't have them on a website no more. Like you said, like your husband said, you gonna buy all this product, it's gonna be sitting there. And that's exactly what it's doing. That's exactly what it's doing. It's just sitting there, and I don't be looking. I'm like, they pretty purses, but it's just sitting there. So
look, it all ties back to these are not losses. These are lessons.
You learn.
Definitely lessons. We understand now, you know, looking back on our different ventures and all the different things that we decided to do, whether it was with business, relationships, children, all of that, we just need to acknowledge the signs, slow down, and prepare and don't procrastinate. You know, do things as you see them needing to be done. Acknowledge the red flags when you see them and pivot or adjust as soon as possible. But it ain't no need to quit. Just pivot. Just adjust. And then, you know, the win will come.
Look, I had to repeat that part because I'm like, you know how like when you hear something, you have to repeat it like for it to be like stuck in there, like you like that so much, you just have to repeat it. And I just did that. And I didn't notice that I did that until I seen myself in the camera noticing that I was just repeating what you said. And I'm like, because I liked it so much, but it was just like, okay, sis. Okay.
It'd be like that for real, honestly. Especially like when you be dealing with stuff, everything, every lesson, every single thing that can stand out does stand out, and you really be sitting there thinking about like what you could have, should have, did. So the best thing to do is just don't put yourself in a coulda, woulda, shoulda situation, because when you can, you should.
Yeah,
you can do it. But yeah, look, we wrapping up episode 2. I think today was good. I definitely enjoyed the conversation. You know, I would love for us to get back to the point of interactions. Where y'all been? Like, I seen y'all here watching. I seen y'all here listening.
Yes.
But y'all ain't been jumping in the comments or nothing. Maybe we just need to become more interactive when we pull y'all into the conversation. Because I think we was doing too much of girl, yeah, and agreeing with one another to where we wasn't putting questions out there for y'all to answer. So even if we are in the midst of a conversation and we pulling y'all in, jump in, interject, butt in by all means. Even if it's just a comment to say hi, every comment is welcomed. Every interaction is welcome because like we always say every single week, this is a giant group chat and everybody is welcome. So any input, insight, or anything y'all ever have to say, feel free. Do not worry. Jump right in. No matter what part of the topic we on. You could be jumping in and hearing the butt end of the conversation and still want to say something about what we just said. Do it because we invited. We want to hear it.
Or even if you listen to it later on and you want to just like, I have a question or, oh, that was a good topic. Y'all should talk about this next week. Email us, DM us. If y'all be like, okay, I feel like, you know how you have like a suggestion, like you have a question or whatever like that, email us. Yeah, we will answer your question on the podcast.
Yeah, if you want to be on, like even if it's just for a little piece of a segment where we talking about something that maybe you suggested, let us know. We'll bring you in. But yeah, like I'm all about you know, everybody being interactive and being here for the whole thing all together. So yeah, there's that. So like we said earlier, we will not be weekly anymore. Here, let me see. So our next episode, now that we're going to be going to a new cadence of the first and the third Sunday, we're definitely off schedule already right now because today is the fourth Sunday. So we will be back next week. We'll be back next week. And then after that, we'll be back on the 18th. So new cadence bi-weekly, the first and the third Sunday of every month. But to kick that off, we'll kick it off starting next Sunday. So we will see you guys then. So thank you for tuning in for another episode of Girl, Let's Talk About It. Bye.